Welcome back, everybody, to Facetious. This is number 47, and the second I get in, Scar got something going on. Anyway, I'm one of your hosts, Larry, a.k.a. Bluemanrule, and the intrusive one over there is none other than Mike, a.k.a. Scarfinger, a.k.a. Cookie Monster Supreme, a.k.a. Real Talk. What's up, dog?
What's up, niggas?
See, every time I bring it up, you're like, what's up, dog? Every time I bring it up now.
I do that because your intros are always so like overly dynamic, and I'm just like, cell phones.
Right. Look here, y'all. Today is November 14th, 2016, and we are getting kicked off at 7:05 p.m. Eastern time. As I mentioned, if you follow me on the tweets, at Lasberry on Twitter, Mike is at Scarfinger. So, look, we got a couple of things to get into tonight. I have a short agenda, but as you know, yeah.
Wait, hold up, bro.
Yeah.
The link that I clicked on,
ain't
even working, B.
You know what it is? It's the if you're trying to click on the NPR thing, it takes you straight to download the show. So it's straight to an MP3. So it's not the podcast.
No. I'm talking about the show link. All right, I got it. I got it now. Okay. I went to the other one.
All right. About to say.
I'm good now.
Okay. That's what's up. So the link he's referring to, I think, is youtube.com/ Larry Asbury Jr. /r/live. That is the link that you can go to get to actually look at the show. Anytime I'm broadcasting live, that's how we do it. So yeah. So everybody, thank you so much for coming on back. Mike, let's get into it. I want to get into my weekend. I'm gonna switch this around just a little bit. Let me get into my weekend. So I had Extra Life this weekend, and you and Ace and Awakened Heathen and his wife and MeefJ and folks just got in and watched and joined in and had a good time. And this weekend, man, I was doing what every Mass Effect fan should do, man, and I was running through the trilogy again. Like, I don't see any problem with that. So
yeah, I mean, I started on 3. And I've been playing 3. Let me tell you what I forgot about 3. There's a lot of people that you need to talk to, and there's a lot of like, you go out to go do something, you go do a mission, and you straight and you get ready to go to the map so you can go to the next joint, and trainers like, no, B, somebody want to holler at you at the Citadel. It's like, nigga, I just left the Citadel. Like,
I couldn't hit a brother when I was there. I mean, I was in the area.
I'm trying to save the galaxy right now, and y'all tripping. So like,
right.
it just kept being that over and over again. Like, Miranda wanted to talk, and like this, I did a new game plus because I ain't trying to start from the beginning like how you had to because you didn't have your saves. So I did a new game plus, and man, I don't think I used this one before because my love interests are all over the place. Okay, so I go to see Ashley when she's in the hospital.
Okay. Oh yeah, right when she got jacked up. Right.
Yeah. I go to see Ashley when she's in the hospital, and the one when you go back when she's awake.
Oh, okay.
She was just like, are we good? And she was like, and I was like, yeah, we good. Like, if you know how I feel about you. I know how you feel about me. And then she was like, well, what about Miranda Dawson? And I'm like, son, I don't even remember Miranda in this playthrough.
Right.
And then the worst part about it is when Miranda sent me the message to go talk to her, she was talking to me about what's going on, and then all of a sudden the conversation shifted to like, hey boy. I'm like, what the fuck just happened here? Like, I don't even know. Like, because for my final playthrough, I decided to go Liara straight through.
Right, and that's what I'm doing now. It's all Liara all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I decided to go Liara straight through. I made, like in the second game, you can't really get Liara like that because she ain't really down with the team. So you can technically you can slide off in Miranda in 2.
But you can though with Shadow Broker DLC, you can get back with Liara in 2 in the DLC.
Okay,
but it's DLC locked.
I don't think I ever really got to that point with her in 2. So yeah, and then they just asking me, they basically, well, see, Miranda ain't say nothing about Ashley. Ashley was the one who asked me about Miranda, and I'm just like, bro, I don't even know. Like, because when I pulled up, when you pull up the new Game Plus, it normally gives you an idea of the choices that you made. I ain't get none of them choices, so I got blindsided by all of this. So I ain't see none of this. I ain't see none of this coming. So I'm just kind of like,
I got two things.
Go ahead.
Okay, so number one is look. Understand that Mass Effect game saves are kind of like women. The more you have, the more complicated it gets. So that's one thing. Number two, Miranda's like the perfect side piece though, right? Because she can't have no kids. She ain't telling nobody. Like, she on the slide. Like, she's perfect side piece, right? Perfect side piece. You never got to worry about it.
I mean, no, I wouldn't call her perfect if you're trying to raise a family and stuff like that.
That's why I said side piece.
I mean, she's the perfect side piece, but like the one thing I hate about Mass Effect though. Here's one thing I really hate about Mass Effect. Why every time you with Miranda, why every time you with Miranda and y'all start walking somewhere, the camera is right at her butt? Dude, like all the time, every single time y'all move, the camera is like low and it's right at her butt. And I know she's supposed to be like, genetically engineered to be perfect, but I'm like, man, you ain't gotta put a camera like right at her butt. Like, that doesn't make any sense with, it makes no sense. It doesn't happen with anybody else that you talk to, but you talk to Miranda and that camera is right there at her butt, or she'll walk past the camera and the camera is lowered to right there where her butt walks past. And I'm just like, bruh, I mean, like, how, like, for real, I know that game developers, y'all work long hours, especially during crunch and stuff like that, but how horny are you?
Right, exactly. And hey, first of all, shout outs to Will. What's up, man? Thanks for joining in and watching live, dog. I appreciate you, player.
What's going on, Pam?
And number two, so when I went in, so, just like you were talking about, but it was Chambers saying, hey, Shepard, Miranda wants to talk to you down her office. So you go down, you talk to her office, and she's getting ready to give you her loyalty mission. She's getting ready to talk to you about her sister and everything, and it's real serious. And I actually had to go get up and get some water. So when I first started streaming, I think it was on Sunday or whatever, when I went back to Mass Effect 2, I was like, all right, guys, I got to go get water. Well, it hung up on the question. So you know how it has the dialogue trees and it just waits until you press a... Why on the question that it hung up, the angle was from her butt up to Shepard. Like, Shepard was standing to the right, and it was just the booty the whole time on the stream.
And your option was what that mouth do.
What that mouth do. Even worse though, like I said, she talking serious about her sister being in danger from her dad. Like, this is my loyalty mission. Like, Shepard, help me out. I hate asking you for stuff because I don't really like you like that, but I'm gonna ask you anyway. And there's real serious conversation, but it's like butt shot. Like right in the middle of that, man. So yeah,
that's why I say I don't know what it is about how horny the game devs were when they made Miranda, but apparently they were very horny. Because it's only with her, and and I know that she was modeled after a real person. Old girl was in Chuck and all that other stuff. I don't know what she's been is,
Yvonne Strahovski. I used to watch Chuck. I know. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if she's been in anything else since Chuck, but I mean, apparently they really have a thing for her, and that's kind of creepy. It's really kind of creepy. Like, you're playing the game and you're like, I'm trying to be serious about this. I'm trying to talk to Miranda about what's going on with her people, and y'all just put the camera right at her butt. Like, really? Like, I mean, I almost, because I was playing it last night and my girl was asleep, I almost hit a real, like, really, nigga? Like, I almost, like,
Y'all almost went there.
I almost went there, but my girl was asleep beside me, and I was playing. Oh my God! Let me tell you something.
Okay.
One of the best things about this generation is being able to plug headphones into your controller and play all of the sound through your headphones. that has been the best. That has been one of the best things to happen to this console generation. So when she wants to go to sleep and I ain't sleepy because I ain't got no job and I don't sleep very much anyway, I can put my headphones on. I ain't bothering nobody. I turn all the rest of the lights off, so it's still pretty dark. And I can put my headphones on. It helps me because I get to play the game, and I don't have to listen to her snoring. And it helps her because she ain't got to listen to my game.
Right.
Everybody win, dog. I mean that feature on modern consoles is a win-win because snoring is not good for your Mass Effect productivity.
Absolutely not, man. I don't know who. Hey, look, whoever was like, look, let's just go ahead and encapsulate all that audio in ear. Look, that was great for your boy because I like it because you can plug in anything and just right there.
Yeah, bro. Let me tell you what happened. I'm gonna tell you the difference between this console generation and the last. I leave my PlayStation 3 here. And I usually just take my Alpha back and forth. But I brought my my Xbox with me because I knew you were doing Extra Life and all that other stuff, and I didn't know whether we were going to end up playing something. So so normally if I'm watching like YouTube or something like that, and and she goes to sleep and I'm still watching YouTube, like I got to turn it down, and then sometimes she get to snoring and I'm like, you know what, I might as well just chalk this up and just go ahead to bed. Like that's really how this goes. But that feature, having a modern console around here has been the thing for your boy.
Yeah, man, it's awesome, dude. I appreciate it too because, like for me, like I have a couple of headphones that are really nice, man, and I actually wear the more comfortable ones that are lighter, and they're bigger on my ear cups.
And you don't have to have nothing specific because I have a controller with a 3.5, so I can plug any headphones into that thing, and I'm just fine.
Right, and it's great, man. Like I can plug these ones that I'm using right now in. I mean, they're just regular earbuds. I could plug them in, and I could be good to go. So no, I love it. I love it, man.
Long as they ain't pink, I can't rock them in pink. Like when I was here and I was faced with the fact that I ain't have no headphones, and my girl was like, "I got mine," and she pulled up the pink headphones. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just go to the store and buy some. You know what I mean? Like,
you just went the other route. Well, see, these are the ones that I normally wear. I love these because the bass in them are better. But
no, I ain't trying to rock the pink like you do. I ain't trying to rock that pink like you do, dog. No, dog.
Hey,
and you can say, I mean, for real. I mean, the only time that those are even semi acceptable is during breast cancer month, and that's over. So
no, breast cancer month is November, isn't it? I thought breast cancer month was November, or was it October?
No, it's October. That's when all the NFLs wearing all the pink.
Yeah, that's right. All right, so but yeah, so nah, man. Give me just a sec. Grab these. I'm gonna grab these. These are the ones that I rocked all weekend. And they're pretty nice, man. They're really light. They're really nice. They're the same brand as those. They're HyperX, but these are the revolvers, the Cloud revolvers. And
now, how much did you spend on those? That's the real question.
Well, these retail for $129, but I got them as a review copy, so I didn't pay anything for them. But
see,
they're really nice.
I'm in the wrong business. I need to get some review stuff. Shit.
Yeah, sit down and review it, man. Yeah, do your thing. But yeah, no, I like those a lot. The problem is the other ones actually sound a little better. They fit a little tighter. So they might press your ears if you have big earlobes like I do. I got like those shepherd earlobes. So they press in, but you can kind of configure them, get them just right every now and then. And when they're right, I mean, they're right. They sound good. The bass is better in the pink ones than it is in the black and red ones you just saw. But the black and red ones have a higher audio range, a more dynamic audio range. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you because we're both Mass Effect fans.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're both Mass Effect fans, and I'm gonna tell you how big of a draw Mass Effect is for me.
Okay.
Mass Effect is such a big draw that I've had the new Call of Duty in my Xbox installed, ready to go, and I ain't touched it.
Yeah, he touched me.
And I sent No Man's Sky back, and Gamefly is sending me Watch Dogs 2.
Oh, that's what's up.
I have no idea when I'm going to play either one of those.
Because you're gonna be on Mass Effect the whole time.
Exactly. So that's how much. I mean, I kept saying, all right, I'm gonna play a little bit and I'm gonna go to bed. And I was up way later than I was supposed to be last night. And most of what I did was going around the ship talking to people. I went to the Citadel and talked to some people. And then just because I didn't want to feel like my time was wasted just talking to people, I went ahead and did Grissom Academy. I did Grissom Academy just to be like, all right, yeah, I actually did something today.
Right, I got some accomplished. Yeah.
Yeah, I got something accomplished today. I wanted to feel good about myself for staying up to almost 3 o'clock in the morning, knowing that I had to get up at 8.
You know better than that. But let me get to Will. So Will says he rocks the Cloud revolvers as well. I think he got them for review too, and he says they're fantastic. I agree. Like they're really good headphones, man. And I like wearing them sometimes because I don't want to put a lot of wear and tear on my other ones. And he talks about Call of Duty Scar. I think he wants you to kind of play it.
Everyone who's played the new campaign says the campaign is actually pretty good. And I'm gonna give you a reason. That may make you want to play. Oh no, I didn't play KOTOR like that. Damn. So I was about to say that there's supposedly a robot character that's similar to HK-47. But you don't know HK-47. You don't know HK-47 because you ain't played the game yet.
Nope.
And the reason why I
add in
haven't
controller support, I ain't playing it. I'm just saying.
That's where I'm at with it. Y'all need to add controller support. Like I know y'all passed it into 2, but I'm gonna need y'all to do some retroactive stuff and work some things out for your boy because
right.
I'm gonna need that controller support because I can't play. I can't play with a mouse and keyboard. I do own it for my phone.
Right.
But I ain't even installed that joint because it's they gave it away for free and have the Amazon app.
Okay.
They gave it away for free a while ago, and I ain't even installed. I even uninstalled the Amazon app, so I ain't even got none of that stuff installed.
Man, yeah, me either. My new phone, I haven't really had a chance to get. I just have Amazon Store. I don't have the Amazon App Store. I just have Amazon where I can go on and buy stuff. That's all I have. So I don't have any of the other things associated with that.
Nope, I don't even do that. I use it straight from the browser on the phone. I don't even have the app because that app be always like if you got one of those systems where it tells you more about your phone, them Amazon apps be automatically restarting themselves over and over again, tearing your battery apart. And I'm just like, you know what? Nah.
Right. Okay, I hear you, man. Hey, battery life is precious. I'll tell you that much.
Battery life is precious, but I mean, if you think about our group chat, I don't think many others will agree.
Well, that's true. Right. That's true because everybody be in it, but they be on it because they don't care about your battery life. And I know sometimes I'll be out there listening. Give nothing about Scar's battery life.
Nope, no. Y'all disrespectful to the battery life right now.
I know it. All right, so but I do want to say thanks to Facetious and my boy MeefJ. Their 2 donations pretty much got me over my goal. And for Extra Life, my goal was just $100, and I ended up bringing in $111.07 because Meef gave that 1107, for that N7 day. So I appreciate it. And Meef was out there watching and having a good time. And like I said, Chase dropped in, him and his wife, and it was pretty cool, man. He actually helped me all through Friday. So,
and then a couple other just random people just dropped by. And
yeah,
you know what? For the most part, when I was around, you couldn't see the chat, so I kind of relayed the chat. And,
I appreciate
it. Unfortunately, when Ace was around,
said unfortunately, he rolled his eyes. Why he rolled his eyes on Ace? Oh, it's so bogus, man.
I can't with Ace, but at least Ace did some streaming on Friday when we played the multiplayer, so we could all see Ace get cut down in living color.
Right. And I did some streaming as well because I played that almost, and I built that into my Extra Life stream, and man, I was out there dominating. I mean, absolutely dominating as that body vanguard. That was so great.
Yeah, I was doing all right. But I was doing all right once I fixed my weapons, because the first time I didn't have the right weapons for being a vanguard.
Right. And that's kind of like your first time, like, well, not your first time, but your first time in a while getting into that multiplayer.
In a very, very long while, because I didn't play much at all.
It's good, man. It's really good. I'm hyped that
Will said Ace went down to wave 1 during one game. How you go down on the first wave, bro?
First wave, bro.
How do you go down on the first wave? The first wave is like it's the teaser.
Right. Ace was like, all right, y'all, man, I'm ready. Oh, dang, I'm dead.
Man, I can't with Ace. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. Right now. I'm gonna let you go ahead and get into your topics early, because we always talk too much, and then you try to get into your topics, and then we always gotta rush. We always gotta rush at the end. So I'm gonna let you get your topics in early.
That's what's up. All right. So okay, here we go. So everyone, okay, so today I was reading an article, and yeah, I read. I don't like reading much, but I actually read every single day. But the University of Oklahoma student was suspended after racist social media that he sent to a black University of Pennsylvania freshman. And looking into it, believe it or not, the OU, University of Oklahoma, David Bourne as a president, OU actually conducted the investigation first. And they were like, hey, this person sent racial messages to the University of Pennsylvania, a student. And they actually called University of Pennsylvania and said, hey, we might have a problem here. We're going to do our own investigation. When we reach a conclusion, we'll let you know, but we apologize for it and things like that. And so actually they were kind of out in front of it. And University of Pennsylvania responded and said, hey, thank you. We really appreciate it. And it in some of the information that was sent out, it was the Sigma Alpha Epsilon. You remember the fraternity down here that got disbanded because they did that chant about letting no black people in.
They will never be an N-word in the SAE.
Yeah. So that is the group that was kind of associated within the message, but OU hasn't concluded that in their investigation. But my whole point is about this article. While I do not condone what this guy has said, and while I will never condone, I don't condone hatred or racism of any kind. I'm just wondering, how are they going to kick a student out of school? Like that's freedom of speech, right? You know, now they're threatening violence, so I can understand that. But last time I checked, violence was an action. And I don't know. Like I'm at a point where, like, yes, does someone racist need to be penalized? Absolutely. But at what point will this set a legal precedence for that First Amendment? Because hate words and things are supposed to be not protected.
Let's be honest. No. Let's not go there, because the First Amendment doesn't protect people from being stupid. The First Amendment only protects you from being stupid towards the government. It doesn't mean you can say what you want to and no one's gonna do anything. It just means that most of what you say can get you in trouble with the government. So that's a falsehood and a fallacy that people pull out that First Amendment crap all the time. Now it's just the same thing as those girls who did the whole blackface thing, and then try to lie about it, and then try to say that they had on a mud mask and tried to play it off when and like these are. They put their stuff on Snapchat and thought that it was cute. But from everybody, even including like people like Justine Sacco and stuff like that, they prove, and people prove over and over and over and over again, your social media can get you in trouble in your real life.
Right.
These people just keep refusing to acknowledge that your social media will get you in trouble. This will get you knocked. This will get you kicked out of school. It will get you fired from your job. It will, like it's crazy. Like there was Justine Sacco. If don't nobody know, she was a publicist, and she was on her way to Europe or something like that, but she had to make a stop. There's a stop in Africa. However, her or was she going to Africa? I can't remember. But she right before she got on the plane, she sent out a tweet. It's paraphrasing. She said, I'm going to Africa. I wonder if I get AIDS. Oh, no matter. It won't matter to me because I'm white. She put that on a tweet before she got on the plane. She was fired before she landed.
Right.
Oh, Will said she was going to Africa. So she proved that that was a very well publicized story. And there's been so many stories of Twitter and Facebook and stuff getting people in trouble. Like, one of the trends right now on Twitter and Facebook is like someone says this inflammatory stuff, and then like an idiot, you have where you work on your Facebook profile,
right?
And everybody starts hitting up the company like, bruh, I'm gonna need you to do something about this. And some of these companies who don't want it with the social media activists, I guess you could call them,
right.
They actually act on this, and they've been doing this for years. Why would you keep doing this? In the same way, like some guy at some big company wore like blackface to a party, and
wow.
and he wore like blackface to a party because he went as Colin Kaepernick. Here's the thing. The worst part about it is he went as Colin Kaepernick and wore blackface in an Afro wig and stuff like that, as trying to be in a 49ers jersey. So I'm like, first of all, Colin Kaepernick is mixed. And Colin Kaepernick is very bright. You don't wear blackface makeup to look like Colin Kaepernick, because Colin Kaepernick is way closer to your skin tone than he is the skin tone that you just magically decided to do to look like Colin Kaepernick. If you really wanted to look like Colin Kaepernick, get you one of those Groucho Marx noses. And you know what? That works. Like, we say this every year before Halloween starts. Do not do blackface. That does not work. And in this realm of social media, people get drunk and they post all of these pictures online and stuff like that, and they always get in trouble. It happens every single Halloween, and nobody gets it. Now, this guy is like, he tweeted the next day during his hangover that he was like, I'm getting called into the office because of my Halloween costume. I don't know what to say to them. What should I do? He actually tweeted that out after tweeting the picture the previous night because he was drunk in the blackface that was highly unnecessary. And I think, I don't know. I don't really know what happened after that, but this stuff just keeps happening. Stop doing this. Like, and your tweets and your Facebook posts are going to get you in trouble. Like, stop doing this. Like, it's bad. Unless you have like some private stuff where it's just people that you trust. And, I'm pretty sure that girl had just people that she trusted on her Snapchat, and somebody screenshotted that and sent it out. It became a big deal, and she got kicked out of college because she did a thing in blackface. It's not worth it. Like, even if you are racist, even like for real, I understand that there's racists out there. There's racists, like, and I understand. Sometimes you can feel the way that you feel about stuff, but you might just want to keep that with close friends.
Right.
You might just want to, you might want to keep that just in your circle. And we found out last Tuesday that so many people kept their stuff in their circle that we were completely blindsided by the election. But your circle. Don't put that online, because if you put it online, you're going to get yourself in trouble. And nobody wants you kicked out of school. No one wants you to lose your job. If you're gonna be racist in private. And and right now it's really going down in our country. Like it hasn't even been a week. It hasn't even been a week since the election, and there's already been over 300 reported racial-based crime in this country that have been reported. 300 in less than a week.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
At some point, you have to value your own life over your own prejudice and your own stupidity. Like, this is going to affect your life. And it's happened in podcasts that I know. Like, somebody, a black podcaster put out a show, somebody got really racist, and of course he did it on Facebook and said where he worked, and the guy happened to work at a school. Mm-hmm. So the people just took screenshots and sent it to the school. He ain't got no job no more. And basically all they said was, is this somebody that you want working with third graders? Right. You know what I mean? Like, someone who thinks like this, is this somebody you want working with third graders? He ain't got no job no more. And you have to think about your own livelihood before you press send on any of this stuff. True that, man. People think that there's no consequence because of the rise of the internet and the explosion of anonymity on the internet. People have been acting without consequence, but now, since all these social media networks have become the norm of communicating from companies to their end users and consumers, now they kind of care about how that interaction goes. So as a company, if you out here misrepresenting me as a company and you got me on the profile, then we're gonna have some issues. And people need to understand that there are serious real life consequences to that. Not just the ones that you are usurping because you're in the internet world and you're not standing face to face with a black dude that's 225 pounds and can probably bench press you. You know what I mean? Like, that's a completely different. Under no circumstances do I believe that you should lose your job or you should be kicked out of school for this stuff. But the schools themselves, they can't have another Missouri situation on their hands. Right. And they can't have another Missouri where, you say, look, more than like 80% of these football teams that bring in all this money to the schools, if they stand up and say, like, until y'all fix this race problem, we not gonna play football, that school is gonna lose millions of dollars, millions. Absolutely. And we're not even talking about like a school like Alabama or something like that. This was Missouri, and they said we not gonna play. And the school was like, man, fire everybody. We got to get this. We got to get this taken care of. Fire everybody, because we can't have this happen and we can't miss out on this money. So I understand both sides. I don't think you should lose your. I don't think that you should lose your job, or I don't think that you should. Lose your place in college and all of this other stuff. But at some point, your job or your college is going to take the heat for this, and they can't take the heat for you doing something stupid. Right. It's unnecessary. It's an unnecessary risk for them when there's so many other people out there they can have that won't, at least, the very least, publicize that stuff. So yeah, keep that to yourself. Keep it within your small group of friends, and y'all can do all the hating you want. Just do it on your own time. Don't but not even. Well, technically, those tweets and stuff like that are on your own time, but keep them closed. Right, just keep it closed. And at the very least, I mean, keep it disassociated. For real, like, keep it disassociated. Be like, yo, there's a random account. It's just anonymous. It's not linked with anything. Keep it disassociated. Right. So bro, I have like 6 or 7 Twitter accounts. If I wanted to put something on, if I wanted to say something inflammatory, I'm not gonna put it on my main Twitter account attached to my main email. Like, that's stupid. I'm gonna attach it to one of these other accounts, one of these other emails that I won't have to answer for this. Right. All right, Mike. What I just did in the agenda, I updated the link
to the next story that we're going to discuss, and it's NPR, This American Life. I've been listening to it a lot more lately. I used to listen to it for years, and I'm listening to it again now, and it's funny. It's this article that I'm sorry, it's podcast 601, Master of Her Domain. Name, talking about Hillary Clinton and the whole situation about her emails and the Secretary of State. And this doesn't get political, actually. My whole point for this is to bring up something that they discussed in the show. Now, you said you listened to it, Scar, but the one thing that stuck out to me that they were saying was the lack of digital competency in the government that they were talking about. So they were talking about how back when Colin Powell was the Secretary of State in 2001, he came in, and the majority of people at the State Department did not have computers at their desk. He purchased 44,000 PCs for all State Department employees all across the world, and he ran like a private server and everything. And so even back then, even though it wasn't specifically forbidden, it was still frowned upon for them to mix their personal email accounts with business work. But people would do it all the time because they would take work home and they wanted to be able to access it and things like that, and firewalls, blah, blah, blah. So, but just listening to the reason all of that stuff happened was because of Hillary's refusal to adopt new technology, her refusal to come into the modern age. She wanted to always keep a BlackBerry.
Well, no. See, here's the thing that I was thinking about. We ran into this when I listened to this. Like we think of these people in politics as being ahead of the curve and, wanting to get in front of some of this stuff. But also we forget that Hillary Clinton's 70 years old. Like she's stuck in her ways. Like they kept saying, like she wanted to use a BlackBerry and she wanted to use the same BlackBerry that they ain't even sell no more. That the people kept having to find ways of replacing the old BlackBerry because she didn't even want the new BlackBerry. She wanted the same BlackBerry. And it's just, you got an old person, you got a 70-year-old lady that's stuck in her ways, and the people around her weren't really tech savvy either. Like they said, this thing wasn't set up. It wasn't the email server was not set up to be nefarious. The email server was set up just as an upgrade over an email server that Bill already had for his people. Like he already had, and they just used the email because it was easier than using the State Department's email, which, like they said, they had problems like printing from these emails and stuff like that. Like it's not even like it's not even like it's totally Hillary's fault, but like when you look at like how technologically inept the State Department was in general, because they go into all of that, like so her people just decided, all right, we'll just set up an email server, make it easier on ourselves, and we'll roll like that.
Right, and here, and I actually have the transcript. Actually, NPR does a great job. They actually provide the transcript to their every podcast. So here's a little bit of Garrett Graff talking about what went on. Okay, so he says, part of what we learned in these FBI files is that the system actually wasn't compatible with the Wi-Fi that the Air Force uses. So their operating system that they were using at the State Department. And he said, oh my God. So he said, yeah, on the planes that the Secretary of State travels on. So her staff would sometimes use private emails just when they were sitting on the plane with Hillary Clinton. People didn't think that the printer function worked very well within the State Department's regular email system. So in order to print documents, they would often just forward the documents to their personal Gmail or Hotmail because it was easy to print out of that than it was to print out of the State Department email system. And
let me tell you what the most offended I am about that whole situation.
Yeah.
Hotmail, bro.
Hotmail, y'all. Hotmail.
That's the most egregious. Now, I do have a Hotmail account.
Right.
Account,
Right.
and is what I use for, like, when I apply for jobs and stuff like that, because I don't really want to send a prospective employer the Scarfinger at Gmail. Like, no, it's probably not the best idea. So, so I do use a Hotmail account, but I never thought that Hotmail was a good idea to use for something important.
Right.
Yeah, it's just basic correspondence is what Hotmail is for. It is not for anything important at all.
Right. And so it's baffling because, I used to work in state government and now I work in federal government, and where we are now is way different. I mean, my entire application process for the federal government was online. It was very modern, dog. Scanning information, uploading documents, like it was extremely modern. But just to hear where they were, just in 2001, I was a junior in college at that time. Like, to hear where they were is amazing, I'm just baffled at that. I don't know. I guess that depression of technological advancement. I mean, it was stifling, really. And when you think about the people who get elected to those positions, like, they are fairly tenured people, right? They're much more mature and older than we are. So
it's the same. It's the Hillary's insistence on using that same BlackBerry is the same reason why your grandma got problems switching to a flat panel TV, and she like, I don't know how to use this thing. Like the reason why the Wii U failed is because grandma don't want to use a tablet. Like, grandma knew how to use a remote, so the Wii was what was popping. And grandma don't want to use bruh, like she just don't. And it's the adoption of technology. Some Ryan from the Black Guy Who Tips was talking about the Nintendo console that just came out. The
Switch.
I don't know what's called.
Switch.
No. The classic joint.
Oh, the NES.
The 30 games.
NES Classic. Yeah.
He was like, it would feel better about owning these things if I still live with my parents and someone can tell me to turn off that damn Nintendo.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
That, right.
Right. It's the old people just didn't sometimes old people are just not really on the technology that way, and it makes sense. And then it also goes to like someone like Trump, like where Trump just uses Twitter to just say whatever he wants to, not thinking that any of this stuff is ever going to come back. Like how he denounced the people who are rioting and stuff like that and are not happy with the choice of him, but he didn't remember his tweets for what happened when Barack Obama
right.
You remember them tweets, like all of this stuff. This is where technology and understanding where technology is and where it's going will come back to haunt you.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
It's all just it's all just a thing. I mean, we're dealing with, we may be dealing with some people that are old enough to understand the technology, but a lot of them just ain't in on it. And that's what happened here. Neither her or her team was really in on the technology. They were just like, we need to set up this email stuff so our email stuff can work. And they didn't think about the process how to secure it successfully and all of this other stuff. I mean, even to the point to where one lady, they set up the email right, and the company that set up the email right, she tried to upload the emails that she had saved to a jump drive. And ended up having to what did I say? They had to FedEx a MacBook to the companies to get. Yeah, they had to FedEx a MacBook with all of these emails on it to.
Right, and then they went through the way in which they determined what was classified. Right, so all they did was create a rule and did a quick search of all the emails that had the term classified, secret, or top secret in it, and then that was included as the secret emails. Right, anything that didn't, then it was left in a bunch that didn't, and then And then they audited some of them and found that, well, some of them that weren't labeled actually had classified in it, or they should have been labeled as at least classified, or at least, you know, confidential at the very least. And so they asked her what she wanted with the ones that didn't, that weren't pulled out of the filter. She was like, well, I don't need them anymore. They're all personal emails. I don't need them anymore. So she's like, well, let's delete them. But, you know, that's what she says. And so, but I'm like, well, if you don't need them, just give it to them to go through, to filter through. You know what I mean? Like, just give it to them to filter.
But see, but I mean, we just been talking about how technologically unsavvy she was.
Right.
She, you know, someone that's not technologically savvy would have just been like, all right, just delete them. Like,
True that.
I don't need them. Obviously, they don't need them, so just get rid of them. They don't mean anything to me, and that's what happened. Like, and basically, this whole thing is, like I said, it didn't have a slant. But what they talked about is at the beginning of the show, they talked about a story, in which about a bill, and they talked about it from different perspectives, and they talked about how your perspective on what really happened here really just depends on your perspective of her. That if you know how you felt about her is what really makes the difference here, and and that's basically, they basically said that this whole email thing was and like that, you know, that this is a big deal, but like no one ever talks about all of those emails that got deleted under the Bush administration. That no one talks about that at all. It's just because of how you feel about her. And if you don't feel like she's a good person, then you believe that she deleted these emails nefariously, and that clouds your judgment. And because everyone already had their judgment clouded, you know, what's his name, Comey?
Who?
The FBI dude that said we gonna reopen this, even though it ain't had nothing to do with her. Comey. So you know that was a serious slant. It probably changed a lot for some people in the election, and it basically you know, it basically made sure that this election was in the bag.
Yeah, and the thing is, Hillary came out and said that probably changed the tenor of the election, because they reopened it again just to say, you know what, guys, that's not true. We didn't reopen it because they didn't. People said that they did, but they didn't.
Didn't they say after he reopened this investigation, all of a sudden a Trump sign mysteriously appeared on his yard? I don't know how true that is, so take that with a grain of salt. But it was obvious that guy is a Trump supporter, and he's probably glad that Trump won, even though more than half of this country is not thrilled.
Right. And so that's, and I just think it's pretty telling how all of this stuff all worked together. And if you guys aren't watching This American Life, then yeah, you need to listen to it, because it's really enlightening, because they do their research. They really do.
Right. And this is what I want you to look at. I want you to look at Trump's American Life. After he won, Trump looked sad, bro. Like, he didn't expect he looks so sad. Like, bruh, every time you see him, it looks like, oh man, I'm really gonna have to do this. I never expected. And someone put it in the chat, like, when you allow your resume and you get the job, like, that's basically what happened. Like he never expected to get the job, and someone gave him the job, and he's like, I gotta do what?
Well, here's the thing, and I need to watch that new show. What is it? The one with my boy Kiefer Sutherland, Designated Survivor. I need to watch that show, because what they don't tell you, and I've seen in a couple of movies, and what is the legitimate deal, the president-elect starts getting briefed on confidential information before they take office. So what's going in his head is more than likely, man, I didn't know all of that was happening. All right. Yeah. I didn't know that's what it is.
I think it's a sign. I think it's a sign when the person that they did the most seems to be the person most willing to help. Like Obama seems like he's genuinely willing to help the transition go through smoothly,
Right.
in which I wouldn't, like, you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't, but you know, Obama seems like a pretty good dude. He better than me, because I would be doing all of the stuff that's in these Joe Biden memes. All of them.
Oh yeah. Those memes are just dropping off the chain right now, man. They jumping off the chain right now. But no, it's been hilarious to just sit up here and watch the tenor of the country, because some people are legitimately sad. Like, people held candlelight vigils in Washington, D.C. Because they were so upset and depressed about the results of the election. Look here, man, when only 57% of your country votes, this is what you get. And my point is, if you didn't want the election to turn out the way it turned out, then you should have voted. You know, it's that simple. You should have voted. Too many people died for my right to go vote. Too many people. And
I refuse. I refuse to vote shame. I'm not shaming any people. I'm not shaming any people except for you idiots that voted for Harambe. But
you know what?
I'm not vote shaming.
I was mad because candidate Deez was not on the ballot. I was looking for candidate Deez, bruh.
You know what? I forgot about these nuts.
It was on the he was written in.
Yeah, I forgot about these nuts. But I'm not shaming, because if you didn't vote and you're upset by Trump winning, you should already feel shame. And I'm not gonna add into your shame. Just know that your inaction gave their action an incentive, and we ended up with Trump. Right. And you know what? No matter how good or bad you feel about Trump being president, because some people do genuinely feel good about it. It's a testament to. Is a testament to just where we are. Like, we are not. This country just isn't in a good space where we let someone who just doesn't seem like a good person to represent us all.
Right, and that's where I have a problem.
And I didn't call him any ists. Even though I may feel like he might be a few of those ists. But I just don't feel like he's a good person, and now that not good person represents us all.
Right. Well, the thing is, a lot of people were saying, well, you know what, the only qualifications to be president are to be 35 and be an American citizen, and
I always thought you had to have. I always thought that you had to have some experience. Like, you shouldn't be a president if you have not been a governor or a senator or in Congress at least. Like that, it doesn't make any sense if that's not a qualification.
But that's not a constitutional requirement. Like, I hear you, but it's not.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why is that not there? Why is that not there? Like, why can anyone just be president? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, I think if you want to be able to govern over us all, we have to know something about your track record of you governing anything.
Right. And my whole thing is, Trump's governance of his businesses has been cloudy enough, and he's had some successes, but a lot of them haven't been attributed to him directly. Like, they've been the people he's delegated to, and he's had some failures. And my point is, like, looking at how the man runs a business, and he's stated many times that how he runs his business, he'll run the country the same way, and watching the volatility of how he's running his businesses, or the inconsistent result of how he's running his business. Like, look, him running the country that I live in, I'm not very happy about that. However, I'm still going to do what I do. I'm still going to make it happen. I've always been a firm believer, and, keep pressing toward the goal, despite the obstacles that are in the way. And, whatever this all turns out to be, I'm not going to sit up here and be sad about it. I'm not going to sit up here and whine about it, but guaranteed, if I get the chance to laugh at it, I'm going to laugh at it. That's what I'm going to do.
I think my thing is this. I don't really understand the protests I don't know what the protests are trying to do,
Right.
but what I keep saying and what I've said since this election happened, we survived W, and W was not just as W was worse than what I feel about Trump. I don't think Trump is a good person, and I think that he's unqualified to be president of this country, but I didn't think W was smart enough to be president of this country. Like, right. I want to feel like my president is at least as smart as I am.
Right.
I believe Trump is. I believe Trump is because he was able to use dictator tactics to galvanize his base, and they got him in. And that's not a dumb person. A dumb person can't pull that off. But basically, we just elected an internet troll to be the president of the United States.
But I attribute his success during the campaign to his political strategist. Like, I don't attribute the success to him, and that's just me. I don't. I know.
Will said the big question: Can Trump dodge a shoe? No, because stupid people are always ready for the shoe to be thrown.
Right, because they know what's coming.
Bush was prepared for that shoe. Like he did the Matrix. Like he was. Like he got out of the way of that shoe real quick in a hurry. Like he knew that was. I mean, like he dodged that joke like a pro. Like right. He is. Like he is that kid. He's like always the last person out in dodgeball. Like he did that, and it's always the smart kids are always out early in dodgeball because they think too much, and while they thinking, the dumb kid is just gonna beat him just gonna beat him with the ball. But right. That dumb kid who's not calculating all of these things is just in there bobbing and weaving. You know what I mean? He's moving his feet like he's in there. He's bouncing with it. You know what I mean? He gets Muhammad Ali on you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Rope-a-doping the dodgeball. Like, that dude was president for 8 years, and gangster the presidency twice. So I believe that it's in the end is going to be okay. It don't seem like it's now, but I think people need their time to grieve and their time to mourn. It seemed like things were. It seemed like things were going in a decent direction until he hired a known white supremacist as his chief of staff. But like he started backtracking on the wall. He started backtracking on Obamacare. He started backtracking on some of this stuff like immediately. Backpedaling. Right. Like, I mean, he was like, that first day or two, he was the best cornerback ever.
On the back pedals, dog.
Yeah, buddy. He was the best cornerback ever.
He was tapping calls and everything.
That's right. He was backpedaling quite a bit. Like they started taking stuff off of the website. It was like, make sure all this stuff is ghost. Get that out of here. And then so I think it's going to be bad. I don't think that the country is going to hell. I just think that for a lot of people, especially poor people, of any color or any gender, it's not going to be a win for you. Because he basically ran on an anti-establishment message, and the moment he got in, he hired all of the establishment people to work for him, and they're a part of his, so and they're all a part of his transition team. Even people he talked junk about, like, you know what I mean?
Right. Newt Gingrich. I mean, all these cats, man. I'm just like, wow.
So I think that the voters got bamboozled, and now we all have to live with this. And I'm just waiting for the aliens to come, because this ain't gonna get no better until the aliens come, or that we get, or I mean, sorry this, but it's gonna take the aliens showing up or a terrorist attack to get us back on the same page again.
Yeah, and it shouldn't, but I really think, and as I was mentioning before, like I really think we need to redefine these parties. Like I think these parties. Number one, it shouldn't be just static views in each party.
No, we don't need to redefine. We don't need to redefine the parties. We don't need to redefine the parties. We need to stop getting the Democrats from being a bunch of pussies. Like, you know, the Democrats are just a bunch of absolute pussies, and they did not fight as hard as we expected them to fight. They put in a world where all of these voters said that they want to go against the establishment. All they did was send out establishment candidates for all of these offices, and they all lost because they didn't listen to what the people were telling them. And Trump actually listened. Trump actually listened to the people. And he gave them what they wanted. He said, I'm anti-establishment enough for them to believe that he's anti-establishment. And when he got it, he's proving otherwise. But all they did was send out the establishment. And I think the biggest problem with this election, and Dan Le Batard said it best, that y'all had 8 years. And these two were the best you could come up with. That's the problem. These
here's the
thing. The best you could come up with.
And here's the thing. And we're right up in an hour. And I'm gonna say this, and then we're gonna bounce into shout outs. But listen, at some point we need to work on I believe the establishment is actually the perceived perspective. So when you say the establishment, so the establishment was the perceived perspective, the perspective that everyone thought that Obama's administration was. But it's just perception. Right? Because then again, if you go and ask, and here's always been a big critique of President Obama and his entire administration, there's always been a big critique. I'm just repeating what I've heard, that they don't really know what they are because they constantly flux and vary in the wind. So my thing is, how can you be anti something that isn't nailed down in the first place? But that is honestly a conversation for another day.
No, here's the thing. I'm gonna say this. We knew that the Democrats were a bunch of pussies when Al Gore conceded a race he won.
Yeah, he shouldn't have done that, because that came down. Look here, man.
Yeah,
it came down to Florida.
It came down to Florida. It came down to Florida, and turns out he won Florida, but he conceded anyway. And then John Kerry didn't stand up for his Purple Heart, and it made him look like a pussy. And it's just we just keep sending out, like, Obama was the first one that we see.
Just say weak. Just say weak, because you know we have females watch the show and stuff. You know what I mean? Just say weak. Just say weak.
They're a bunch of punks. Like, I'll say punks. They're a bunch of punks.
All right. Okay.
All right, so they're just a bunch of punks, and Obama was the first one to come in. And let's be honest, like, Hillary got her cookie snatched by Obama. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, she thought she was up. She thought she was up, and she was back. She was in the cut singing, "I'm all the way up, all the way up," and somebody was like, "Give me that beat, fool!" Like, that's what. And Obama just came from nowhere because he wasn't a punk, and he didn't. You know, he. And there's a certain cool factor in with Obama that also helped with W. The cool factor really mattered. And and then when people talk about Bernie and stuff like that, let's be honest. Since the advent of television, we have never voted a president that looked like that. So he wasn't going to be able to win by himself. I've always said that Hillary should have tapped him as vice president, and then this whole thing would have been a lock.
But the thing is, you got to look at, and that would have been problematic for the cabinet, right? Because then you got to who's the next? Who's the next? It's the Speaker of the House, right? I'm sorry, the Speaker, the Congress, the whoever runs Congress. That's the third person in line. So because you got to look at age, bro. Like Bernie, if he's running on the presidential ticket, you really got to scrutinize that VP, because more than likely 4 years, all that extra stress.
as the VP is not as big of a problem as Bernie the president.
Well, here's the thing: the VP actually goes and does a lot of commitments that the president, him or herself, cannot make. So,
and we could trust Bernie to do that. We very much can trust Bernie.
But can Bernie's body be trusted to do that? That's my thing. So never mind. We over time. Let's move on into shout outs, man. We could talk about all this stuff next week. We're gonna come on back. We keep the party lively. So go ahead with shout outs, Mike.
Man, just shout out to everybody that's checking this out. Shout out to Will in the chat. And for some reason, my chat count didn't show up today, showing how many people are actually watching. But Will has been the only one to say something today, so shout out to Will. Shout out to the usual suspects, the homie Samson Simpson and Awakened Heathen, and everybody who showed up. MeefJ that showed up to the live streams. I had a lot of fun, even though I had to dip because I was working. But I had to dip a couple times, but while I was in the chat watching you mess up on Mass Effect, I really had a good time with the people in the chat, man.
Yeah.
So so shout out to everybody that checks us out. Of course, shout out to all the warriors out there. Keep doing your thing. Sure. And we appreciate every single one of y'all, whether you listening live, whether you listen on YouTube after, whether you listen on the podcast. We appreciate you. And there's a Scarcasm, man. There's a Scarcasm that I put out that I went to edit, and it was recorded before the election, but I ran into sound issues, and I had to cut like 40 minutes out of the show. Because it's some sort of buzzing in the show, and I had to cut it. So even though it was recorded before, I tried everything that I could, and I'm just gonna have to upload what I got. So that sucks.
Next time, I think I can show you how to fix it. If it's buzzing when no one's talking, I can show you how to fix it. If it only happens when people are talking, then yeah, you stuck. But if it's buzzing when it's silent, we can fix that. So
I mean, if you can fix it, I'll send you the file. It's a wave.
Oh, you're gonna have to send that as MP3, bro. You're gonna have to break that down as MP3. And then I'll take a look at it. I won't compress it too much.
Okay.
But yeah, so Will is right. It is the Speaker of the House of Representatives, and then the President pro tempore of the Senate in the line of succession after VP in that order. So I thought it was Senate because I think here in Oklahoma, I don't know if it's that same order. I think it's Senate first and then House of Representatives for the governor. So you got the governor and you got the deputy governor, whatever we have, and then you have the third one, which is the Senate.
Isn't it like what the
lieutenant governor? I'm sorry.
The lieutenant governor runs independently of the governor, like they don't run together.
Absolutely.
We should totally do that.
Yeah, that's how we do it here.
I think the president and the vice president, the president and the vice president should be on their own.
Okay. That might be something we might entertain at some point. But ladies and gentlemen, I am Larry, aka Bluemanrule. Thank you so much for dropping in, for watching, for listening. Look, I still haven't posted last week's audio because guess what? My PC messed up. But I've identified the issue. I've set up a return. It's still under warranty. I have 1 more week for my thing to be under 3-year warranty and my CPU. And I think I'm going to send back the CPU as well. So I'm going to send it all back, get it all going again. But I'm going to try to just put up the audio. I can't put it up with the bumpers because I don't have the bumpers. So I can't put it up with that. But I'm going to try my best to put it up nevertheless. And hopefully you all will enjoy it. Sorry, Meef is taking a while. So I'm going to put up the last 2 episodes last week and this week. But everybody, thank you so much for tuning in, checking us out. Again, thanks to everyone who dropped in for Extra Life, helped me out. Thanks for Will jumping in the chat. Really, really appreciate it. And thanks for Hammer for helping me out, at least get the audio downloaded and sending me last week's audio. I still have it. I'm going to get it posted. But everybody, we'll be back in here again next week to discuss some other things, maybe about how to make things better. But in the meantime, y'all check out This American Life. Give it a listen. And let's see, do I have any other? So again, my shout outs, Heathen and his wife, the Amsterdam lady who dropped in and talking to us in the chat, MeefJ, Ace, and HolyHeadshot and Will, who both hit me up because my Skype, I guess, got hacked and was sending out a bogus link. So I went ahead and changed my password, got all that done. I don't know what that was, but it's done now. So, but everybody, thanks for listening. Be back in your ear next week. Peace out, warriors.
Peace out.